welcome you all to the Crypto Singh Show, and my name is Gunpreet Singh, and we talk about Bitcoin, NFTs, Metaverse, everything on this show every single day. So, what's happening with the Bitcoin market? The markets have been pumping, and I've been telling you in all my previous videos that the charts are showing bullishness, and I definitely see the prices going up. But what's next? Have we bottomed out, or is this a bull trap, or there is more upside to it? We'll find out everything on this show. So I thank you all for joining me, and before we proceed, please do like, share, and subscribe. So what's happening with the Bitcoin prices? Well, the Bitcoin market, the entire market has been on fire in greens, and it's been going up and up since 17,000. I have been telling on my videos, all my videos actually, you see, since we bottomed out, that 17,000, which was the local bottom, I feel. Now, why I feel that's a local bottom, I'll explain you that. But since then, we've been going up, and now we've reached somewhere around 23,000. And Ethereum is around 1700, which was around 850, 900 about 2 weeks back, which was almost like 100% rally in probably 15 days, and that is huge. And there's another coin that has been rallying up, and I've already mentioned that coin. If you actually go and see that coin I think is gonna give a lot of people the surprises, and it's gonna be the pick of my, and I also tweeted about it. That's my pick for the bear market, and I really think that one coin is something you should look into it. And it's again gained about 18-20% today. It's been gaining momentum ever since, and I think it's extremely a strong coin. I made a video on it, and I'll tell you which coin is that. So before we proceed, what do I expect out of this market? And do I think the bottom is out? And do I think, are we going down further? Well, so do I think the bottom is out? Well, not really. I think that this could very well be a bull trap, and this is what the charts are showing. And we work on probabilities. I've always told you that I work on probability. Now, for me, the charts are showing that this was the bullish momentum. When everyone was bearish, I was bullish. You can check all my videos. I think everywhere, whenever the charts have been bullish, I've been telling you that we are bullish. And since all my videos in 17,000, I told you this will now bounce back. But saying that we bounced till 23,000, 24,000 is small resistance, nothing great. 25,500 and then 28,000. So these are the 2 points where we really need to look into. And I personally believe that these points would be, these targets would be hit very soon. But once these targets are hit, I'm going to turn bearish. Now, why do I turn bearish is exactly because I think the economic crisis, the food crisis, and what's happening around the world, you can't ignore the fact that you have crisis happening all over the world. So you can't expect Bitcoin to just rise with these crises going on. Now, what is the other thing that really grows with the crisis is gold. But I don't think you can compare gold with Bitcoin right now, because the amount of investment in gold is way bigger, and it's a much bigger market, and Bitcoin is a much smaller market. So right now, if your stock market crashes, everything crashes, your gold is going to be the safe haven right now. And with all the Sri Lankan crisis happening, with all the crises around the world, the food crisis that I think the world will face would be one of the biggest challenges in the world that is going to happen, which I don't know how many people are going to tell you this, but I personally believe that why I'm saying all this is because I think we've not bottomed out in Bitcoin, and everything eventually comes into relation with how these prices act in the market or react in the market. So the Bitcoin prices will also react. If there's a crisis, if there's a house burning next to you, doesn't mean that it won't come to you. So you have to realize and anticipate the charts. I do agree, again based on probability, but we have to also see the external factors happening around the world. What's happening with your inflation, food crisis, gas crisis. You name it, and there are crises on it. I've never seen this kind of situation in my life, and I personally believe that the world has never seen such kind of a situation where you have pandemic, where you have food crisis, where you have energy crisis, where you have inflation crisis. I mean, you name it and you have those crises. So how, I mean, it's very difficult for me to believe that the markets won't come down and there will not be a recession. And I completely believe there will be a recession. This recession would be the biggest or the far, I personally believe that not just the biggest, I believe that even the bear market that we're going to see would be way longer than the normal bear market. So I think it could be one of the longest bear markets we could have ever seen. Saying that, I think recession is imminent, and I personally believe recession will come in. The markets are going to slump, and the world economy is into crisis. And with this food crisis coming in, I personally think India is one of those countries that can grow out of this food crisis. And I would like to use this word that instead of India using make in India, India should start using grow in India, because growing crops in India would become one of the biggest markets, and eventually what will happen is you will be able to supply to the other side of the world, and the world is going under a food crisis. And if you don't think that these food crises are for real, go check out the stock crash that happened for Walmart 2 days back. So there's going to be supply crisis, food crisis. So with petrol going up, with gas going up, so everything is adding on to the food supply, and the food prices going up. So I personally believe that the inflation is probably the highest. Your money is losing the value, the paper money is losing the value. But why do I still say that dollar would still be, we really need to see the movement of the dollar, because it's like saying, why dollar would be the strongest against all currencies, but dollar will be weaker in its own way. Now, why do I say it's going to be strong in terms of against other currencies? Because it's not just US dollar. Every currency has, every government is printing their currency, and the printers have been on ever since. Now, when these printers are on, so if there was rupee, it's been printed. If it's any other currency, it's been printing. So these printing machines are not stopping anywhere. That's why you have crises like Sri Lanka, you have crises like Ukraine, you have crises like Russia, which would eventually lead to all these things. And if you don't have food to eat, I think it's going to be one of the biggest crises, which you don't know when it's going to come, but I personally see it coming a lot sooner than anyone would think. Now, what will eventually this come down to would be recession. And what would recession do is basically, get down all the prices. I don't know if the markets are going to crash that bad, because what will happen eventually when the economies get bad, the US would again start printing their money. Now, once they start printing the money, everything goes back to normal. The inflation will again rise, but economy goes back to its normal way of working. So this somewhere will have to end, and when it ends, it's going to be a disaster. Whenever it ends, it might not end tomorrow, day after. It won't come tomorrow, day after. It might come after 2 years or 3 years. But all I'm saying is you got to be prepared for something that is going to come, and that is something that inevitable. It's pretty much sure that this would come up, and you can see this happening around everywhere. So I think these crises would take down the market really badly, and that recession would be the longest recession. Now, saying that, I don't think the Bitcoin price has bottomed out. The charts are showing bearishness. There's a bear flag that is being made. Now, that could play out in September, October, November. I don't know, but I personally believe that I don't think it's going to be in August. But September, October, November, I think these are the 3 months for you to get into Bitcoin again. And I think that crash would come and take us below 15,000, which I've been predicting since a long time. So again, this is all based on probability. Please do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is what I think is going to happen with the Bitcoin market. And saying that if Bitcoin crashes, Ethereum, everything comes down rolling, but eventually this would happen. So right now the strategy is cash, or having reserve money. So liquidity is the king right now, and there's nothing bigger than liquidity right now. Now, that is what is happening with the Bitcoin prices, but I hope I'm wrong and Bitcoin goes to 70,000, 1 lakh, what all the YouTubers are predicting. that it's going to be 100K very soon. So I just hope I'm wrong, and with all the YouTubers are right, and we make Ethereum at 10,000, 10,000, and 100K would be Bitcoin. So that would be probably the best scenario that I could see. But unfortunately, I would not it's difficult for me to see that picture, that rosy picture, or show someone that rosy picture, because I personally think that there's going to be a big dump and this is completely a bull trap. Also saying that, I personally believe that there's going to be a .com bubble burst, there's going to be a crypto burst. Now when that crypto burst happens, I am extremely sure that this would happen either in this bull run which has happened, like so the bear run, or the next bull run. It has to come in very, very soon. So you will see this crash happening, maybe not this time around, but maybe by 2024 you will have a bubble, because of the regulations you would have a bubble burst which would get down or eradicate a lot of cryptos from the market, and very few would be left. So eventually Bitcoin would be the king, and Bitcoin, Ethereum would survive, and there would be one or two more that would survive. But so that is also something to look into. So all of these things, this market is still getting structured, so you have to realize and you have to anticipate that this is not a structured market for now, and there would be these kind of uncertainties happening around the world, uncertainties happening around this market. So you have to be prepared for both internal and external factors. External, I've already told you about all the crisis happening. Internal is because there's so many cryptos, so it needs an internal structure, which also will be, I think, with stable coins, Terra Luna, all of these things going out of the market and people not trusting these stable coins. I think, so there would be a regulation coming in, which again would be good for the market, will not be bad for the market, but I think that would be coming in very soon. So it could be this time around, or when the governments are too busy in handling all their crises and all, I don't think then they will look into the all these regulations. But once that's done, they'll get into all these regulations. But eventually these regulations have to come in. So that's what is happening with the Bitcoin market, and this is the market update. I thought I'll share it with you. I don't think we bottomed out. I think there is some more blood that you're going to see on the streets in crypto market, but be ready to buy in then. And this for me would be the last time we're going to dip below this price. And I personally believe last time means last time. I don't think after this you will ever see these prices coming back in. If it goes under 15,000, I think this is the bottom. Probably nobody would have imagined, nobody would have seen, nobody even thought we will be going under 30,000. But right now we're at 23,000. We're struggling around 33,000. So I think that if we go down 15,000, those prices will never come back. So saying that, let's see what the market has, and these are again all based on probabilities charts, but you can do your own research and you can invest into it. If you're a long-term investor, 20,000, 23,000 is not a bad price to get into the Bitcoin. Now this coin that I've been saying has been holding on pretty well is none other than Matic, and I've been saying that's my pick for the bear market. And Matic has given around 20% in last 2 days. Matic has given around 60-70% in a week. Matic has given around more than 100% in probably just few weeks. So Matic you really need to see, and Matic hasn't crashed down as much as the other cryptos have. So I think it's a rock solid project, and please do your own research, but keep an eye on Matic. Get a dip, buy Matic. I think Matic is something that you could keep buying in whenever you get the dip. So that's all for now, and I hope you're liking the content. Please do like, share and subscribe. And signing off, Gunpreet Singh from the Crypto Singh Show. Bye bye, take care.